Kingdom. And joining me,
Tears isn't levels or tears isn't crying because this
as in
game's hard.
crying, because, well, yeah, parts of this game are really hard. Some of the survival shrines that I've been to are not really cool. So, yeah, tears isn't crying. Definitely.
That's a bummer.
Yeah.
What's that blue thing?
This is my little guardian. He follows me around and shoots guys. Because I beat up someone for his people. I forgot what I was talking to this dude about.
Looks like Knuckles, but purple.
Yeah, it kind of does, huh? So what's been on your mind lately, Amanda?
All sorts of things.
Well, let's hear.
One of the things on my mind is Alabama's recent decision to qualify what makes a person. Seems kind of gross.
Yeah, do you want to tell people what's going on with that?
Basically, embryos are people.
That's basically what they are saying.
And it's just not really part of my brand, because I think viability does have a role in determining what is alive and not alive.
Mm-hmm. So you don't think that life begins at the very moment of conception?
No, I don't think so.
Well, that's good, because they've run into some unforeseen problems after this.
Wow, I'm surprised.
Yeah. Who would have thought Republicans didn't think things through? So their bill was meant to target LGBT couples who were trying to conceive.
But instead it wrecked IVF.
It wrecked IVF for everybody. So they've shut down all in vitro fertilization for the whole state because they don't want to be responsible for disposing of embryos that no one will ever use, but are nonetheless classified as humans now.
But it's just, I feel like that's extra cruel. Like,
Oh, yeah.
if you can afford IVF, and having a child is one of those things where, like, if you're able to and there's only one way you can go about it, maybe just sit down and shut up.
Yeah.
Like, it's a numbers game, too. So, like, you might have to do it 8 times. So you're not going to do a retrieval every time. That takes a lot of toll on your body. You're going to take a whole bunch in one go and save them and see what happens.
Right, yeah. Usually you take a lot more than you ever going to need. So, yeah, there's a lot that end up left over. And then, people freeze them when they're young and focus on their career and then come back later to it with the hopes of conceiving later on. But then maybe they change their mind or they die in between then. So, like, what are you even supposed to do with these embryos? Do they all have a right to be born at this point? And if so, how does that work? You're just going to implant random embryos into people?
That's gross.
Yeah, that's weird. So they've created quite a debacle for themselves because all they really care about is punishing their enemies.
But not only that, I also feel like you're kind of driving people out of the medical profession because now people probably aren't, that maybe once were interested in fertility and gynecological health are going to be like, nope, never mind. Or like, there's going to be a saturation in the northern states.
Yeah, it kind of seems like a lot of people are going to be making their decisions about where to live based on these sorts of rulings. People that might otherwise like living in these very conservative states. Because, this cuts across all political theories. It's not as though only liberals or leftists or whatever use IVF. It's a lot of different people.
I think the preconceived notions is like, oh, leftists don't care, but like,
yeah,
I just want people to make their own decisions about their body and what they want to do with it. without third parties stepping in.
I mean, yeah, that is kind of the ideal, right? Is land of the free, so people should be able to make their own decisions about that sort of thing.
But really, it's land of the free if you're monetarily backed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just call this what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Which is gross, really. It kind of makes me sad.
Yeah, it makes me sad too, because, you know, they keep everyone thinking that, you know, their ship's going to come in eventually if they just keep working really hard, and then the right people will get sorted to positions of power every single generation, and it doesn't all work that way in practice.
Like, people have feelings. People want to make... I don't know. I've got a lot of thoughts on a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I've been looking at, like, the levels of, I don't know if I can say the word.
What?
There's been, like, an event around World War II and
Oh, yeah.
an event around Native American. It starts with a G.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
levels.
I think we can talk about genocide. I think that's
Oh.
okay.
All right, I didn't know if that was...
Yeah, no, I appreciate you being careful.
And then thinking about that and, like, the different levels, and I'm feeling like maybe the LGBTQIA community is now being targeted. And it kind of makes me think to the concept, and I know that I am not part of this community, I just love people who are. Like, this theory of, like, coming out. Like, oh, you have to have a coming out. Like, why? Straight people don't, like, get up one day and, like, buy a cake because they're fucking straight. Like...
Yeah, that's true.
It is just what it is. Like, so why do people that are part of... Like, and I know they don't have to, but I feel like there's an expectation of, like, coming out. And then it makes me think of the genocide thing and, like, is this the branding? Is this the, like, marking these people because they're being forced to call out their identity?
Oh.
To, like, name it? Even though it's guised as a celebration?
Yeah, that's
I don't
interesting. I mean, certainly there is danger in anyone coming out, that's for sure. I think part of the point is to collectively share that danger, right?
Yeah, I guess I feel like more of the pressure comes from those that are not part of the community. I don't know. I have a really good friend from school that is married to their partner, and, like, there wasn't a coming out. There wasn't anything. And it was like, okay, awesome. Like, I'm happy you're happy, I'm happy you found your person.
Yeah.
But it just kind of, like, I feel like it makes a little bit of a mockery of it, and I really don't want this to sound like I'm being anti.
No.
I just don't think it needs to be a performance.
Well,
I don't think
mean,
you have to perform for other people to, like...
Yeah, but I wonder
comfortable.
if this generation coming up, the Gen Z, is going to make such a big deal out of it because it is so, you know, in the mainstream now, that I don't think they really make such a big deal out of it. I mean, I'm a teacher. I still hear plenty of homophobic jokes, but you don't see the revulsion
Yeah.
that you did back in my day.
I do think it's shifted, though,
Yeah.
a little bit. I think it's, like, this is what I've noticed, and I could be wrong. I think the initial, like, as the LGBTQIA plus has gained momentum, right?
Mm-hmm.
The initial fixation was those who are part of, like, gay or lesbian, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the vitriol was, like, focused in on there, and now I think it's like shifting, like, oh, I don't care if you're gay or lesbian or whatever. Now it's more like, oh, you're non-binary.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
you're
the trans
trans.
is
It's
the main focus now because, well, I think in large part because gay marriage finally became the law of the land, so it demystified it. Like all those the sky's falling, this is the end of Western civilization predictions about gay marriage being allowed in the U.S. None of that came true, and everyone saw that. So they're like, oh, wait a minute, maybe these people are idiots and assholes, and they don't actually know what they're talking about.
and like I think even the ace community gets a little glimmer of it because they're like, well, what do you mean you don't experience this? It's like, not your business. What does it matter?
Mm-hmm.
Leave it alone.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Right, indeed. And, I think today, the edges of what's acceptable are definitely around, like, trans issues. But I think once issues like, bathroom bill stuff never really went anywhere. It was never the issue that the conservatives wanted it to be. About the only thing they ever had any purchase on was trans people in sports. But I think as that becomes more normalized and people see that there's nothing really weird about it, and maybe sports itself reconfigures to allow the fair competition that people are supposedly looking for, and then also allows trans people to compete as their preferred gender, I think that argument too is going to lose a lot of weight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like I want to start with the bathroom thing. Like, as a woman, I really don't care what bathroom people use, as long as you maybe flush and wash your hands when you're done.
Right, and
That's like, I've never had anyone ever
that's what I'm saying. Like,
bother me in a restroom.
right, and I think that's most people's experience. So like, all this hysteria around bathroom bills and people being unsafe in bathrooms, none of that's really materialized into anyone actually getting hurt. Once in a while they'll make a hoax about it, and they'll have some obviously set up situation where actors will pretend to be predators posing as trans people trying to get into bathrooms. But that's the only thing that's ever come up is these obviously posed scenarios. So, like, nothing.
When the glow of the blood-stained moon shines
it's hard to fearmonger around something that just isn't happening. Like, you can fearmonger around things like, oh, look at Chicago and how dangerous it is, because you can at least point to statistics where people do get murdered in Chicago on a pretty regular basis.
But then you could also be like, so when you're out in public, don't be out alone. Don't do certain things.
That's the thing too, is like, I think people already just behave this way, right? Like, I'm sure you got some sort of a talk when you were growing up, right?
Oh yeah. I was always told that when I'm in places, specifically the cities and things like that, that I was to keep my bag close on my person.
Yeah.
And always walk like I know where I'm going, even if I don't.
Okay, so people are already on alert. So, like, no one is going to get a drop on people just because they're posing as a trans person to gain access someplace that they otherwise wouldn't be able to. So, like, yeah, I don't think people are feeling any extra fear about it in general. So I think eventually that issue will go away too, and they'll just move on to some other group to hate. Muslims still, Islamophobia still carries a lot of cachet.
But, like,
culturally.
It's okay to not understand things. I think it's another thing to just, like, hold on to not having information and using that as information
Yeah. Yeah.
instead of being like, hey, I don't really know a lot about this, and if you're okay, can I ask you some questions so that I can gain
But
a
that's the
better
thing is that
understanding?
conservatives don't actually care about learning stuff. They
But,
care. They
like-
care about fear mongering. You know.
Like, I don't understand why you're such an asshole, but here we are. Let's talk about
Some people
it.
just have to have an enemy to pin all of their problems on, and to, you
I
know.
mean, I have an enemy every day, so I can't really talk about that
What do you mean?
at work.
Okay, but that's a little different. Work has material effect on you, right? Trans people, most people don't interact with trans people on a daily basis. Or if they do, they're not even aware of it. Like, it's not just something that comes up all that much.
But I think we get too fixated in the prefix, like trans people. They're still people. They're people
Right.
with interests and
Oh, I agree,
wants
for sure.
and things, and like, I think we get too hung up in like, oh, we have to label it. Oh, this means all these other things, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not speaking as an authority. I'm speaking as an outsider
Yeah,
who
yeah, no,
loves
that's just
people in
your
that community
experience.
and like wants to be mindful.
Sure. But like I'm saying, like, your job has material effects on you on a daily basis.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, probably back here did it. Okay. But trans people don't. Trans people don't have an effect on most people's lives on a daily basis. So
And
that's the difference.
right. Well, they think back to like college too. They're like, as a woman, I will get catcalled from time to time. Of course, it makes me uncomfortable. I'm also 5'10", so people generally don't mess with me or get in my space in an unwelcome way. But it's really weird. But in college, I used to go to a bar across from my German class on Wednesday nights
Uh-huh.
because they had like $1.50 piece of pizza and $1 beer, right?
Hmm.
So you get a beer and a slice before class. And there was a bartender there who was a lesbian, and I talked to her most days. And she had asked me out, and I was like, oh, I'm straight. But thank you. And she's like, well, we don't have to continue talking if you're uncomfortable. I was like, no, I'm not uncomfortable. I like our conversations. I'm just not into you in that way.
Yeah. Well, that's definitely a defense mechanism, sort of a way of approaching it, because, you know, if a gay person approaches someone who is straight, there's a chance that they could be hurt.
But
Because straight people tend to be more fragile
yeah,
with their identities.
but it was like, I liked talking to them. They had really interesting stories of them traveling to a bunch of places. So it was cool to hear about where she had gone and whatnot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, she was surprised that I would still come in and talk to her. It was like, you respected the boundary the first time I said it.
Right.
There's
that's,
nothing else here that,
That's the main thing,
like,
right?
a lot of men can't even do that because it's like,
Yeah.
her being like 16 and getting catcalled by a construction site and having this guy like scream at me
That's weird.
that I wouldn't go out with him or wouldn't talk to him or give my number, blah blah blah. I was like, well, for one, I'm pretty sure you're too old for me. And secondly, I'm not interested. And they scream more and more and more. And then finally was like, you're a DYK, you're a total. And it's just like, why? Why? Like, all I'm doing is walking down the street. I said no. Why can't you stop?
Yeah, like, why are you so fragile that you cannot fathom anyone not liking you sexually?
And again, it's like in that way, right?
Right.
Like, I'm not saying I won't talk to you. I am setting a boundary
Right?
of what kind of conversation can happen.
Mm-hmm.
I just like it, and that circles. I know that was like a huge long loop to like walk through, but then it just brings me back to that like reproductive rights, like women get taken advantage of, and then they're stuck with the product of a horrible event because that's not allowed, that's not legal. And honestly, I think it's pretty fucked up.
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, that's good stuff so far.
Just like all these ideas about things, or like people and preconceived notions about things. It's just like kind of screwed up. Like I know it's screwed up. It's just like the more I sit and ruminate on it, the worse it makes me feel when I think about like people who are homeless. There's another one I could go on about forever.
No, let's talk about it.
So
What have you been thinking about homelessness lately?
well, I just always see the like weekly article of whatever homeless encampment is being swept up or moved away. And like you probably the city probably spend more money having crews come out and demolition these places and bulldoze these tent cities away, and like police and other people intervening instead of actually putting money towards dealing with the fucking problem.
Yeah.
Which isn't the fact that they're homeless people, because our system does everything it can to like ensure that homelessness happens. It doesn't do
Right, it's good.
to, like,
It's good for business people because
really
you always
good
have
for
someone
business
to be like, "Oh,
it drives the wages down.
at least you're not them, right? You know, be happy with your
You don't
minimum
want that,
wage."
do you?
Yeah.
But like housing first, giving people housing pays for itself in 18 months. There's no other model of care that like recovers itself in that kind of way.
Right.
Like, but they won't do it.
No,
You
because
have all
it
sorts of
threatens
buildings.
the system entirely. Because we can't be giving people things without them working, because then people might feel that they don't have to work.
But that's like, again, isn't that kind of cruel?
Yeah, they'd rather be
Yes.
cruel than have the possibility of anyone getting something they might not entirely deserve.
There's someone who's... I'm so sorry. When someone is homeless, it is usually as a result of some other underlying issue, be it mental health, be it having lost a job, any number of things, right? And it doesn't encompass the other realities of people that maybe have to couch hop.
Right,
try
people
to
that are
sustain
technically
themselves,
homeless,
or,
but
like,
they're not on the street.
Right. They're like shelter unstable, I think is the word they like to use.
Yeah.
But it's like they're one disaster away from...
Right, or one friendship not going well
Right.
away.
And that's so damaging.
Yeah.
I actually want to look up how much it takes to... How much it costs the city to clean up an encampment. Excuse me.
Oh, I'm sure way more than it would cost to do anything else. Hey, Red Devil, how you doing tonight? Yeah, I'm sure they spend tons of money on that. Money that could be going to making temporary shelters or public housing or, you know,
But like,
providing
why?
more social services or any number of things.
Like... In 2021 alone, Chicago, and just the city of Chicago, spent $3.6 million.
Yeah, think of how many housing units you could buy for that and rehabilitate, or put up new, or any number of things.
The price tag of homelessness costs the United States $15 billion per year. So you could slash the defense budget and put it into homelessness and universal health care, and you'd still have money left over.
Yeah, right? Like, yeah. It makes sense that to them, like, the cruelty is the message. Oh, I gotta sneak up on these people.
Like, you can't just sit there, oh, I wish we could. Sorry. I'm like, oh, I wish we could do something about it. Here's $1,000. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're really a philanthropist. I care about it. Like, you didn't help anybody. You didn't do shit. Your house probably has enough bedrooms and bathrooms to, like, house 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see you using it for that.
Right.
It's just like, when are we going to start having the adult conversations around some of this?
So Red Devil says, I think it's time. It's, it's to keep us separate and fighting. Oh, absolutely. That's true.
But I think more people just need to come and understand that, like, homeless people are not the problem. It is how they are treated.
And, you know, that's one more thing. Like, most people's daily lives are not affected by homeless people. Like, sometimes they, very rarely, and it's why it gets so much attention on social media, but rarely you'll have a homeless person who has a mental health crisis and puts some people in danger. But the majority of interactions, like, people don't even realize because they're unseen people.
Right. Or they freak out because someone's, like, panhandling on the corner. It was like, what do? You just keep your window rolled up and keep on going. Very rarely would anybody actually mess with you.
Right. Yeah. So, I agree. Red Devil unity is our source of strength. So, not being divided into hating homeless people when they're just having a much more rough time than you,
But also,
I think is very important.
the system, when someone does fall into the position of, like, actual, I don't know, that was a bad choice of words, like, homelessness to the fullest extent of living out on the streets, right? Like, you can't recover from that quickly. You can't recover from that without stable shelter. Because you need to shower, you need to have access to, like, decent clothing if you're going for interviews. At this point in time, with where we are with technology, you need a cell phone, you need a mailing address, you need all sorts of things to ensure your employment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I understand feeling uncomfortable with homeless people. But, yeah, I just try to never assume that even if they look better off, that they are better off. And even if it was the case that they were just out there begging for money, like, I don't...
There's a reason.
There's some reason, and, like, I don't really care that much. Like, if the entire thing was some sort of a scam, like, I think there's much more important problems.
Bigger problems?
Yeah. And again, if there was housing provided for everyone, there wouldn't be a need for them to be out there at all. So there just wouldn't be people around. Yeah, people do lie to people, and sometimes it's because they're desperate, and sometimes it's because, I suppose, perhaps because they're not willing to get money in another way. But it doesn't really matter to me. I just don't care. Oh, so you know that these people have a job and a home. They're just posing as homeless people? What, just for fun? Or like what is their purpose for doing it then?
Ooh. Oh.
Yeah. I mean, if someone was legitimately like posing as a homeless person just for grins and giggles, like, yeah, that would be irritating because they'd be taking money away from people that actually need it. But I mean, even that, like, it's just so low level of a scam that I don't care. I think there's so much higher importance scams out there that some of which are legal, that I think our focus should be kept on that personally.
It's very funny to me too, considering that a lot of people who are out panhandling and what have you, they tag team areas to try to pool their collectings together to try to get food or try to get whatever it is that they're in need of for that time. So it's funny how people that are so marginalized can come together and cooperate because they know it is to greater benefit to the whole collective than if they just each went off on their own.
So you never given money to those people. There's one guy that you help out and buy a meal once a week. Oh, that's very nice of you. And he chooses to be homeless. Well, yeah.
And I
Some,
feel
yeah. Some people say that is their choice. It's hard to know how accurate that information always is.
though you have to consider how many stipulations there are where it's like the benefit outweighs the costs. Like think about like low income housing. Like the margin of what you can earn to sustain the housing is so narrow that it doesn't incentivize people in the right way to like get up and get on. But also it's our system too.
But also,
Just
like,
keeps
even
people-
if there were people that no matter what, they're going to choose to be homeless, like, there's still a hell of a lot more people that don't choose that life. And I'd really like to help those people.
And like with the housing first, I'm not saying they need like $700,000 home furnished by Pottery Barn. They literally have done studies, and like the most effective stuff is having a door and ideally access to your own bathroom.
Yeah.
Like
sure.
it's like toilet even. Just have your own toilet, but like a shared shower space would be acceptable and was still beneficial if that's
Right.
the only setup that was available.
But also, there's a lot of public housing in some European places that is really nice. It's like nicer than the place that we live in right now. There's no reason that public housing has to be terrible. It's perfectly fine for it to be good, in fact.
Yeah, it can just be decent, clean, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it also has like amenities and stuff and like places for community, because a lot of what people are missing is any sense of connection to other people. That's why they end up homeless. Like people that have troubles and don't end up homeless, like if you or I were to have some major financial problems all of a sudden, it would take a lot for us to end up homeless, because we have my parents, we have other friends and family that would help us out, take us in. Okay.
Sorry.
Thanks for joining, Amanda. This has been a really great discussion. I appreciated it. yeah, it would take a lot for us to be homeless. So the people that actually do end up homeless, they're the people that most often just don't have anyone else that they can go to that's safe, that will take them in and be able to help them get back on their feet. So providing spaces for people to build up community and rebuild their lives.
And most of those people, when they have
I think it's
shared
pretty good.
communal space, are more willing to do rehab and things like that.
Alright, does it just keep taking me back to the same spot? I think it does. Alright, we're gonna have to listen to the mission description instead. So behind a clean waterfall somewhere between Ploymus Mountain and the domain. Where is Ploymus Mountain? That's the next question. Ploymus Mountain. I'm not really sure. I don't see any Ploymus Mountain. So perhaps it's somewhere out in this big area. I guess that's probably the best bet, isn't it? Between the domain and there. Wait, what was no? Oh, there's Ploymus Mountain. There we go. This is where we need to be going. Prefers the outdoors. I mean, yeah, that's one thing. There, like, you know, even taking him at his word, that really, given the chance to also have secure indoor living, he would and modern amenities and all that stuff. Given all the choice to have all that, he would still choose to be homeless. Fine. That I think that's the rarity, the vast exception rather than the rule. Alright, so we need to find a secret behind a waterfall somewhere. Where would a waterfall be? I mean, homelessness is dangerous. Like, there's nothing about it that's really all that safe for anybody. Oh, we need to go behind this waterfall, huh? So, it's certainly possible that someone might choose that life. When any sort of security would be available to them. But still, I think it's going to be pretty rare. Who's this dude? So they were just playing at the king being over here, supposedly. Does that update our quest at all? No, I don't think so. I think that's not. I think that's not going to be what we're looking for. Where else would we be? Yeah. It's got to be somewhere along this chain, though, right? Of water. There's the first waterfall, but we don't see anything beyond it right now. And we can also, put on the Zora stuff so that we can climb up that waterfall too. I don't see anything behind that waterfall. And it also doesn't look clean. Maybe it is, though. Something behind the waterfall. Do we climb to the top again? It's probably not up here, though, huh? Yeah, if you want to give me a hint, that's fine. I don't think I'm going the right way. Yeah. It is behind the waterfall. How is that possible? Because I know they said it was behind the waterfall. Oh, no way. Okay. We're gonna find out. I didn't see anything behind that waterfall. So that's kind of bizarre. I keep just popping up. Lots of waterfalls in this weather. True. So it is one of the waterfalls that comes from here. Then, huh? Oh yeah, here's a waterfall. If I touch that with these, yeah, it's gonna pop me back up, isn't it? Gonna have to switch my clothing. Here we have underside of a waterfall. Why? Oh. That was a bad fall. What do we got? Alright, so not behind that waterfall. That I can tell anyway. Oh, here's another one. Oh, here's another waterfall. Oh, wasn't this nice? The pristine sanctum. Oh my. Gotta get that. Bubble jam. Yeah, this looks like the place. They mentioned a pristine sanctum, so appreciate the hint though. Thanks. Yeah, they did. Ooh, he's not looking so good, is he? Found Dorfin, alright. Been some time since we last spoke. Received word that you went missing along with the princess. Why have you come here? Well, to help out, obviously.
Huh?
Okay, so he's going to talk about what happened when he saw Zelda. Falling islands appeared, the sludge started coming down. Uzi and I left the domain to investigate. That's when it happened. She descended from the sky, accompanied by a sludge monster. Oh crap. Happened next took us by surprise. She then unleashed the beast upon us. Dorfan valiantly vanquished the threat. However, he was gravely injured by the sludge during the battle. As for Princess Zelda, she vanished without a trace. Word got out that Princess Zelda lost her mind and harmed the Zora King. Resulting turmoil would be devastating. That is why we're temporarily remaining hidden within the pristine sanctum. So according to your story, Princess Zelda disappeared beneath Hyrule Castle. On the other hand, suddenly appeared near Zora's domain and unleashed a monster upon us. The waters of truth have become murkier still, but from the Zora perspective, one thing is clear: it all leads back to the sky. Disaster, the sludge, the monster, even Princess Zelda. Maybe the answer to these riddles can only be found skyward. Sidon ordered Jaito, a historian well acquainted with the ruins, to investigate. Wonder if any progress has been made. Yeah, I can tell him about that. He's already spoken with Jaito, yeah. Say the Mark of the King was mentioned on the stone slate that was restored. Indeed, I do know of it. Mark of the King refers to Zora King's scale, one of my scales, in other words. I've heard it called by the name you mentioned in an ancient ritual, however, none remain who know how it was used. Interesting. Particular scale, mine may prove useful to you, but by all means take a few. No need for restraint. This is as nothing to me. If you run out, simply return and acquire more. King scale. Wow. Interesting. From much reflection, I have come to a realization. It's truly beginning on in years to have allowed a mere monster to catch me off guard. Perhaps this time is nearing for me to pass the title of King to Sidon. King Dorfan. In any case, that is a matter for another day, after the chaos surrounding the sludge has quieted. Please inform Sidon about my situation and about the King scale. Yep, tell him there's no need to worry about me. Must go forth and do what needs to be done. Oh, okay. Seems to be more to this sanctum. Let's see what's coming out. So another way you can find the sanctum, I suppose. Is that a fallen star? I don't remember if those disappear if you try to transport. But let's find out. See if we can get a fallen star. That'd be good. Captain of the Zor domain. Captain of the guard in Zor's domain. Yeah, okay. Alright. What do we want to get rid of? Nothing really, huh? We can probably get rid of this. This one's decayed too. Let's get rid of that one. Yeah, that was down where the star piece was. Oh well, I guess we're not gonna be able to get it now. Unless that's it. Maybe it is. What the heck just hit me? Oh, a piece of the sky. Interesting. Alright, well, we gotta go talk to the prince dude. Probably just fast travel. I don't know what that thing is down there. Oh, is he not up here? Just heard a Korok somewhere. But I don't see him. There he is. Yeah, we can bring you down there, bud. There we go. Nice. Stuff to assemble things. Oh, hot air balloon.
Hey!
Land of the Skyfish. What is this now? Alright, let's see if we can decipher what that means. Place that's shaped like a droplet. Land of the Skyfish. Oh yeah, here we go. That looks an awful lot like a skyfish. We gotta figure out how to get over here. Don't think I've been over here before. Maybe I have. Well, that's our next task. So let's not go yet. So supposedly let's travel up there. See what we can see. I think there's that Death Star that's floating up there. How we're gonna get out to the rest of the islands, I don't know. Yeah, it is. That's the question. It's fine to get over here, but how do we get to the main area. Because that's where we need to get to. Very much doubt it's going to be close enough to get to. Probably get to that one though, huh? Let's see if we can get anywhere from there. Maybe. See how we can make some sort of flying machine. An old map. Alright. Also in the depths. Ooh. Got 2 spots. So that's what we gotta get up to. How am I gonna fly that high? We have a runway. Not quite sure yet what we're gonna do. Get up there somehow. I wonder if... It does make me wonder if I could swim with those waterfalls. Or if because they're sludge, supposedly, I wouldn't be able to. I don't really know. Am I just supposed to use the sky tower? Not clear. Oh, what have we here? Where has he gone? I guess we're supposed to follow him. Catch him in midair. That's probably the case. Let's see how high we can get. try and get him again. Where'd he dive into? There has to be some other way to get up in here. Watery bridge. Okay. I assume that's gotta mean one of the waterfalls. It has to be. Where's the closest one? Is this gonna be it though? there was another waterfall. It looked like it was ending somewhere. Like in the sky. But where would that be? Is this gonna be where it is? Let's try going over here. Yeah. Here's a waterfall in the sky. Not the greatest looking waterfall, but I bet it'll do. Go. Floating scales on it. I have to navigate our way through all these chunks. This is supposed to be the key, right? That's not what I meant to do. So where do we go from here? Gotta be more to it than this, right? Right? Or we just go back and talk to him about it. I suppose that's as likely as any. Alright, I guess we go back and we talk to Sidon about it. Yep. Skyfish, yep. But I did find these. Floating rock that is the shape of a droplet. That's what we gotta do. That's great. What rock are we looking at? Shape of a droplet. None of these look all that special though. That's supposed to be one I can get to. Droplet rock. Oh, look at that. Nothing special if I go through it. So I think I probably just gotta take a picture of it, huh? But I did find something. I want to get it. Alright, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, just want to finish one thing. I'm sorry, Bear.
Okay. Can you pull Sawyer Jail off the bed?
Yep.
I'm tired. That hurt. I wanted death. Okay.
I didn't say
Bye-bye.
that. I didn't say that. Hold on, I'm almost done. Man, you're not listening.
What am I doing?
Can you not do sound for just a minute?
Sorry.
Arrow. Oh, that's good. Okay. Now we go.
We need to get up close and personal. Be careful.
Yes. Come now. Hey now. Yes, yes.
Ah.
Whoa.
All right. Well, we will leave it there for tonight. I will see you all next